Stop buying your protein. But let's be clear, this was never really about saving money. Money is just the surface. What this is truly about is dependence. It's about that subtle, constant tension you feel when you step into a supermarket, standing beneath harsh fluorescent lights that hum quietly above you. You push a metal cart through long aisles stacked with food that has traveled hundreds, sometimes thousands of miles, sealed in layers of plastic. You don't know where it came from. You don't know who touched it. You don't know what was lost along the way. You're offered what looks like abundance, dozens of brands, endless options, but it's an illusion. 50 versions of the same processed product, yet no real connection to any of it. This is food without context, food without history, food without life, and somewhere deep inside, you feel it. That unease, that quiet realization that this entire system is fragile, a carefully balanced house of cards propped up by cheap fuel, global logistics, and just-in-time delivery schedules. Ask yourself the uncomfortable question, what happens when the trucks stop rolling? What happens when the shelves sit empty? At some point, without ever signing a contract, you outsourced the most basic requirement of survival, and in doing so, you surrendered a form of power humans once took for granted. Today that changes, today we reclaim it. Today we quietly step away from that unspoken agreement. We are not simply digging a hole in the ground. We are installing a self-renewing source of protein. We are creating a living system, one that can be assembled in a single focused day and continue feeding a family for a decade or more. This isn't landscaping, this isn't a hobby project. This is a practical blueprint for food independence. Before we begin, I want you to pause and imagine something. Close your eyes for a moment. It's a Tuesday evening, 10 years from now. The air is warm and heavy with the sweet scent of honeysuckle. Crickets hum in the tall grass, their rhythm steady and calming. The sun sinks low, painting the sky in deep oranges and fading purples. You're walking across your own land, not toward a car, not toward a store, but toward a quiet body of water reflecting the evening light. You smell damp earth. You catch the faint floral note of water lilies. There's a calm in your chest that feels unfamiliar at first because it's real. You're holding a simple fishing line, smooth from use, familiar in your hands. You cast it gently, almost without thinking, and moments later you feel it, the sharp electric pull of a strong, healthy fish. It fights. You feel its energy travel up the line and into your arms. On your way back, you stop beside a small weathered coop. Ducks greet you with soft conversational quacks. You reach in and gather a few eggs, still warm, their shells tinted pale blues and soft greens. This is real food, food you raised. Food that exists because you built the system that supports it. You walk home with weight on the line and warmth in the basket. This is not a fantasy. This is the future you're about to construct. It begins with choosing the land. This is the most important decision you will make, the one that determines whether your pond becomes a thriving ecosystem or a stagnant mistake. The key is simple, let nature lead. After a heavy rain, go outside and watch. Where does the water naturally collect? That low point, that gentle depression, is where your pond wants to exist. This step requires patience. It's an act of partnership with the land. Skip it and you'll pay for it later. I've seen people dig ponds on slopes, only to watch summer storms rip them apart, carrying soil into gardens and undoing months of work. I've seen others, like a man I once knew, we'll call him Farmer John, who built his pond in sandy soil. He invested in fish, plants, hope, and watched the water slowly drain away, leaving behind a mosquito-filled reminder of haste. Another common mistake is distance. A pond tucked far from the house becomes forgotten. Your pond should be visible. It should be part of your daily life, a living indicator of your system's health. Walk your land, observe it in every season. This choice becomes the foundation for everything that follows. Next, we shape the container. After one intentional day of work and years of minimal, mindful care, this system will repay you many times over. In the cool morning light, you mark out the pond's shape, choosing gentle curves that echo natural water bodies. As you dig, whether by hand or with machinery, you aren't just moving soil, you're sculpting habitat. By midday, your muscles ache, sweat runs freely, and yet the work feels different, purposeful. By design, you form a shallow shelf around the edges, about a foot deep, your marsh zone where life will multiply. At the center, you dig deeper, 4 to 5 feet down, creating a cool refuge where fish can survive heat and cold alike. When you finally step back, tired but satisfied, the transformation is undeniable. Grass has become structure, space has become potential. Then comes sealing the pond. The oldest method is puddled clay, a thick, compacted layer worked by foot until it becomes watertight. It's physical, grounding, almost primal. If clay isn't available, a modern pond liner works just as well. Either way, the ground is no longer inert. It's ready. Now life begins. At the center of this system are the ducks. 2 or 3 are enough. They are not pets, they are operators, managers. Watch as they enter the water for the first time, hesitation giving way to joy. Their movement aerates the pond. Their droppings feed microorganisms. They convert sunlight and plant growth into nutrients that fuel the entire system. Over time, you'll understand their sounds, their rhythms, their role. In exchange, they offer eggs unlike anything sold in stores, dense, rich, and deeply nourishing. Once the water is prepared, we introduce the fish. This is where patience becomes non-negotiable. In the first month, you release fingerlings, small, fragile, almost invisible. And then, nothing. Weeks pass. You see no proof. This is where most people fail. They interfere. They doubt, they add inputs. You must do nothing. By the 3rd month, you catch brief flashes of movement. By 6 months, the fish are visible and strong. By the end of the 1st year, they've grown substantially. By year 2, the first harvest arrives. Pulling your first mature fish from water you built yourself is a moment that reshapes how you see abundance. Plants complete the system. They are not decoration. They are infrastructure. Marsh plants filter nutrients. Submerged plants oxygenate. Floating plants shade and protect. Together they stabilize the ecosystem and keep it alive. Maintenance is observation, not control. 5 minutes a day. Look, listen, learn. Resist the urge to optimize. This system thrives on balance, not interference. And finally, the legacy. 10 years from now, during disruption and uncertainty, others will worry, you will not. Your pond will still be there. Your children will fish from its edge. You will teach them more than survival. You will teach them sovereignty. This is not just a pond. It is a quiet declaration of independence. But independence is only the beginning. What you may not expect is how this system changes you long before it ever feeds your family. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, your relationship with time begins to shift. You stop thinking in days and weeks. You start thinking in seasons, in cycles, in cause and effect. You no longer ask, what do I need right now? You begin asking, what will this look like a year from now? 5 years from now, a decade from now? This way of thinking rewires something deep inside you. The modern world trains us to react. Alerts, notifications, shortages, prices, panic. This system trains you to observe, to wait, to understand that growth happens quietly, beneath the surface, long before it becomes visible. There will be mornings when you walk out to the pond and see nothing remarkable at all. The water is still, the ducks float lazily, the plants sway gently in the breeze. And yet, beneath that calm surface, an entire economy of life is operating, fish feeding, roots filtering, microorganisms multiplying. Value is being created whether you are watching or not. That realization alone is transformative. Because once you understand that, you start to see the rest of your life differently. You begin to question systems that demand constant input, but never seem to deliver lasting security. You begin to recognize how many things are designed to keep you dependent, distracted, and slightly anxious. Always one shortage or one disruption away from discomfort. Your pond becomes a reference point, a reminder that stability does not come from complexity. It comes from alignment. Neighbors will notice. At first they'll comment casually, looks nice. That must be a lot of work. You'll smile because you know the truth, it's not work. It's stewardship. Over time, their tone will change. They'll ask questions. How does it stay clean? How are the fish still alive without feed? How do the ducks fit into all of this? You'll explain it simply, you won't preach. You won't argue. You'll just describe what you've built. And slowly, something shifts. In uncertain times, people don't look to the loudest voice. They look to the calmest one. They look to the person who isn't panicking. That will be you, not because you stockpiled, not because you feared collapse, but because you chose to build resilience quietly, patiently, and in partnership with the land. You didn't try to outsmart nature. You let it work with you. Your children will absorb this without needing lessons or lectures. They'll learn by watching. They'll see that food doesn't magically appear wrapped in plastic. They'll understand that responsibility and abundance are connected. That life gives back when it's cared for. And years from now, long after the novelty has worn off, the pond will still be there, still producing, still alive. It will outlast trends, technologies, and many of the systems people once believed were permanent. That's when you'll realize something important. The fish were never the point. The eggs were never the point. Even the food independence was only part of it. The real harvest was perspective. You stepped out of the role of consumer and into the role of creator. You stopped asking permission from systems that don't know your name. You built something that doesn't require constant updates, subscriptions, or approval. Something that improves with time instead of becoming obsolete. And perhaps most importantly, you proved to yourself that you are capable of more than you were taught to believe. In a world that constantly tells you to buy, outsource, and depend, you chose to observe, build, and trust. You chose patience over panic, systems over shortcuts, legacy over convenience. This pond is not an escape from reality, it is a return to it. It is proof that independence doesn't need to be loud or extreme. It can be calm, grounded, almost invisible to those who aren't looking closely. And one day, when someone asks you how you stayed so steady when everything else felt unstable, you won't have a dramatic answer. You'll just gesture toward the water, toward the ducks, toward the life quietly thriving, because you gave it the chance to. That is the power you took back. Not control, not dominance, but alignment. And once you've felt that, once you've lived it, there's no going back. This is not just a pond, it is a way of seeing the world, and it will feed you, body and mind, for the rest of your life.